Alright, continuing where we left off. In terms of, I don't mind the intro page. The only thing I suggest you change is I want the text aligned. You see how the space is in here, so it doesn't align these things. Also change the spacing. I'd like to compress these, I guess vertically, so a little bit less of a enter between the two. Make them look like it's more of a bunch instead of spread out. Health effects. Do we know what we're talking about first? You're talking about air. Because you're not really talking about health effects. Health is the entire body. You're really talking about respiratory. Am I right? I mean, pollutants wouldn't get into the body unless it was respiratory. Making a bit of assumption, but dust. Just call it respiratory health and then change this to something else. Other than that, it works, right? I got a hierarchy of information, so if I want to read it all, I can just carcinogens on children, immune system, then we're good. Also, something I want to look for later, you're using this border, these margins, and you never use them. Get rid of them. If you're not going to use them, then all they do is like they lower your real estate and shrink everything else. So I mean, kick out this bar, kick out the bar, scale everything up so it's taller and actually fills the page instead of compressing it with the bars. If you're trying to add a theme, like a color theme to your project, do it within the body. Let me see if there's anything I would change on this. Yes, slight change on it. What I want you to do is behind these logos, so like the lung should be white, and right now they're painted in green. There shouldn't be like a little angle, a David Bowie inflection on this kid's face. So make sure behind these logo is white. That way it looks like the logo is put over the comment box. Concepts. Well, you're talking about respiratory health. So let's see. Do you feel like you need to introduce the 1+ system? For most projects, I can't help this. Anytime you do a rendering, and this goes for everybody, but I bet everybody's listening to me, you never ever are going to manufacture right angles, 90-degree angles. Two reasons. One, they are extremely sharp if they are pure 90-degree angles. Second reason why you don't want to render with 90-degree angles is because you don't get the right highlights. It always looks like a render. It never looks like a real object, which is the important part of rendering, is to kind of fake reality. So you have, in my opinion, everyone who renders, and then you, seeing you have two possibilities. Either come in and put your own highlights and soften these edges, or go back, put the radiuses on, and then render again. That's the only way you're going to make it look realistic. Also, you see how these feel desaturated? I mean, look at this, is pure black and everything else has like this gray feel. Two things I would change is because, do we really need to pick whether it's a humidifier or a dehumidifier at this moment? What I'm concerned about is you're thinking through ideas. So two things I would change. One is get rid of your headings and these sketch formatters. Secondly, I would erase your text as well, because if I can't read it, I can't use it. So get rid of all the words, get rid of the black lines, rearrange your sketches so it looks more attractive. Let's flip-flop these, so your big sketches go to the right, typically in America really left to right, therefore it's a progress going left to right, so small sketches over here, big sketches on the right. Then come in and handwrite either in a Cintiq or use type to tell me what you were thinking about when you do these sketches, right? I'm sure you thought through them, I can tell, but I don't know what it is because I can't read it. So some changes on this one. And then you choose a concept pretty fast. Right here I'm saying, okay, there's 3 different options. Now they're not really even different options, are they? They're the exact same thing with different color schemes. I think we're too early in the process to start playing with color schemes. I just want to know why this is a good solution. Difunctional. We don't really call anything difunctional. You could say dual, D-U-A-L functionality, or you could say just get rid of dual function and then do air purifier plus humidifier. Make sure you're capital P there. Hybrid AC/DC option. Why? If you explain me the 1+ system, you don't have to explain why it's a hybrid. At least I don't believe so. All right, you lost your hierarchy. instead of how, air purifier function, make sure that's bold, make sure it's a little bit bigger, and then like that becomes a heading, and this becomes the body. Same thing. Humidifier function, same thing here. I think you do a better job on this, right? This is an orthographic view. I wonder if you did like an isometric drawing or an isometric computer rendering of this, would it have more three-dimensional feel? The reason why I doubt you intelligently created this is because humidifier. All right, we're bringing air out from the environment, we're running it through the machine, it comes out more humid. Got it. Where I'm faulting you at is this air purifier airflow. How does it get in here? Does it just create air? No. It's got to come in from the outside environment, get purified, and then exit. So, and like these don't even matter. So if you want to explain how it works, do a more evolved version of this. I believe your details need to be linked up with images. I would use less images, spread them out. Let's see what I would do. Maybe image here, leave these three, and then do call-outs talking about like the back handle. I don't know what the back handle is. You're assuming that I know, but I don't. Oh, I found it. Don't leave anything up to assumption or somebody else to do the work for you. So pair the details with the images. Do you want this to be an air purifier or a dehumidifier? I mean, it works. It doesn't feel like it. Doesn't feel like it belongs in this environment. Part of that's because the Photoshop job is a bit underdone. I mean, it works okay. Get rid of that. That's annoying. It looks okay. It's just, how could you put this in an environment where it made more sense? If you want to do some more like work on emotions, then you have like a baby in a crib, and then you have this outside the crib providing moist air that way. I don't know why kids need dehumidifiers. I'm trying to think why my kid would use one. Oh, you can put medicine in them. True. Also, maybe it helps with colds and something. It helps not get their airways dried out. So I think there's a better application for this than what I see here. This is just kind of bland. Okay. Because I know you're wearing a GoPro, I need some color in here. I might do, let's see, bold sub-brand, then identity design is blue, because I know you're fixing to use a blue color scheme all the way through. So go ahead and be consistent at the beginning. Or what else could you do? Maybe the logo in blue, gloves in blue. Just integrate blue into this image, because right now it feels a bit lifeless. Parent brand research. Cool. I can't read. And if I can't read, you shouldn't throw it there. Also, this is really borderline, can't read that at all. So while graphically, in terms of text, it looks good, but if I can't read it, so we gotta, increase sizes. I think that's the only thing we're gonna do is just increase size on text. Also, you're showing me like a dissection of the GoPro brand, but I want to know that you understand it. Alright, so you tell me what it is. It's almost like you've given me research, but I want you to give me insights. I want you to say, most people see the brand, but this is what you really need to know about the brand. Let's keep on reading. I find myself reading this. Bold things that you think are most important. Is this important? Also, like, you just tore your grid up right here. Right? I don't really care about this. Design problem. Video editing softwares are difficult to learn. That's the real problem, am I right? I don't know. Sub-brand solution. Dang, you went from problem to solution really fast. Is there another way to say this? And you haven't even like talked about your sub-brand yet. Like, I think one thing that's missing is, let's say it's after your design problem, how do we extend the GoPro brand? And then it essentially is like it's back in second year. They stand for these things. We want to push it into video. This is what the video brand needs to have. So you need those three things: translation, how it addresses the problem, what it needs to look like. All right, then we get to sub-brand solution. Makes a little bit more sense because there's some form of development. Right now there's not. What does enjoy have to do with anything? It's more of a storyboard, right? Is this currently being done? I mean, I know you can do video. You're talking about editing video, so the only part you're innovating is this thing, right? That's them. That's them. Right now you can watch video, but you're talking about editing, so I mean that needs to be the focus of your solution. At some point you got to tell me what Vulkan is. Very plain, as if like I saw it online for the first time. I didn't know what it was. Vulkan is a sub-brand of GoPro. Come on, Bush. It's a sub-brand of GoPro that allows ease in video creation and something else. Once again, can't read, can't appreciate, therefore it's... Also, you need your blue back down in here somewhere too. What about sub-brand implementation? Because that would cover your exhibit design and your brochure design. Why are your panels funny? Why does it go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? And honestly, to do a better job of this, I don't... that's probably the best shot. What I want is a big view, so big 3/4 perspective here, and then give me 3 interior shots. You have it in CAD, so it's a matter of going and saying, oh, this is what this would look like from right here, this is what it would look like from right here. Cool, brochure design. I mean, the biggest transition is the one that I talked about here, when you're transitioning from this is the GoPro brand, this is what it means, this is what I need to accomplish, this is what the sub-brand needs to represent or be known for or do. Corrugated challenge. I saw Conyers, Georgia, and then I'm not going to read the rest. If you're talking about corrugated, give me even a desaturated, it can be in a blue tone, image of some corrugation. Right now, Enter's boring. Nope. Please just tell me this is a placeholder. I'm assuming it is, but you need to tell me, because if this is it, we ain't friends. Not reading too much information. Sketching. I want to see a development. It has got minimally better. I'm fighting back anger. So, what's your problem? What are you trying to achieve? What's currently in the market? What are the opportunities? Also, man, just like size. And don't use the word liked. I like lots of things. I like tacos. I like puppy scratches. I like football on Saturdays. But most of the things that you like don't get you hired. So let's try to use any other word but the thing they like. I sketched the hole and you found the corrugated market. Like, the thing is, I'm having to read this because I'm frustrated. I'm trying to give you feedback, but you're making it really difficult on me. So why don't you show me what's going on in the corrugated market? Like, why is this an opportunity? It's cost effective, that's for sure. Made out of freaking cardboard. At some point I want a sequence of use. Like, how do you, it comes flat packed and then you assemble it. You show it flat packed. I need step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's time of year again. What does this have to do with anything, man? Alright, you're gonna hear me say this again. I'm getting tired of saying it. I don't care that you can make something out of cardboard. I can find people to do that. I want to know what you learned through the prototyping process. What went wrong? What went right? What did you improve? I feel like you ain't listening to me. Also, you could crop horizontally, so crop horizontally, push it to the left, crop horizontally, push it to the left. And they gave me some information, they gave me some call outs to the right. I can charge it, and then I got this other, which, if this is the old version of the phone, this goes to audio, right? Why would I use my phone speakers when I got computer speakers, which are going to be better quality? Things to think about. This thing frustrates me, man. Hey, David Stewart. I'm assuming you were in class. I guess you weren't because you didn't take my advice. When you're showing something that is supposed to be horizontally spread, so left page and right page, I need you to show it in left page and right page, because this is a composition. It's going to be read, quote unquote, together. So when you split it, I don't get the full feel. So get that right. Good. Alright, you got to tell me a little bit more about missions, right? So this is sent to a ministry, it's sent to a medical backpack. I'm assuming this is mountainous Central America. It could be Haiti, it could be Dominican. So I need better context. Ooh, Western Hemisphere. So explain kind of what they do, I think would be helpful. Just by giving images is not sufficient enough, or these images aren't helpful enough. This is the only one I get. She's wearing what looks like scrubs. Probably not her kid. Could be, but probably not. And then just desertous, mountainous. So, 2 things. One, give me more about what they do as a big overarching theme. Next thing is tell me about the backpack, because that's the thing you're going to improve, right? Okay, so after you introduce the backpack, you can say, hey, these are the things they need to do with the backpack, and then here's some opportunities for improvement. It's still working. Okay, I'll look somewhere else. A little bit more hierarchy. The reason why I say this is these could be a touch bigger. They're about the same size. Yes, they're colored. It does bring a bit more interest. Does it progress from left to right? If you are going to do callouts, make sure I can read them. Currently, they're too small. Wait, you're doing spreads, right? Show ain't going to be able to see that. Show ain't going to zoom in. Some humans, even if like they're subtle in the background, just to give me a bit more context. It ain't got to be on all of them. Just give me like 2 or 3. I would put it on, might flip-flop these, then do a human, and have the torso bleed off the bottom of the page. Alright, that's enough for that page. What's next? So your baller borrowed the system of mollywebbing. Similar to example, which, right, if you don't have an image that's at least 2 inch by 2 inch, which I don't believe this is, I wouldn't put it. Just call it mollywebbing. Anybody who has backpacks or anyone who's familiar with military knows what mollywebbing is. And I'm not going to tell you how to spell it. I'm telling you it's not M-O-L-L-Y. Alright, I would like to see this guy earlier, right? Because now you did your concepting, and then you show me what's inside of it. Show me what's inside of it, what they all have to carry, what's the most important. That should come sooner. Or is this you showing me a solution? Cool, show me a solution. Not that this is bad, actually this is bad. Because all these look like each other. Good design would have put some type of logo or some type of slip you could put in here and change. And if it's possible that you slip a piece of paper in, that way you can organize them according to your needs, and you didn't show it, shame. So much shame. Alright, final page. Reinforce the things that you did right. Or if you set up a good problem statement, hey, we wanted to change in between here, around here. These are the things we need to change in the backpack. Reconfirm. These are the things we changed in the backpack. Alright, the orb project again. Alright, bring in this. You can go 3 lines deep, I'm okay with that. Bring it in about there on the left, about here on the right. 3 lines down is fine. And then I might bold to develop visual brand language. Produce their own spring water. Is S supposed to be capitalized there? Alright, having a little difficulty. We'll add my own outline. Okay. Okay. What I want you to do, less written information, more graphics. I think what you're saying is good. I think what you're saying gains a really good amount of attention. But I'm not going to stop and read. I look at images first, I look at bolded second. So just give me more images, especially, man, if you want to grab somebody's attention, get like a mom and a dad. Well, they're not a mom and dad yet, but a mom in a hospital gown who's crying. That talks about fertility rates and fetal deaths. That'll get somebody's attention. Is it raw? Yes, it's raw. But if you want to get somebody's attention, if you want to deal with some real problems, you have to show the realness. Is it so much a tubing issue? I don't know. I think this needs a little bit more work. Grab my emotions. Maybe do like a newspaper headline. Because I think real person, newspaper headline, Flint City will tell more than the United States. So what's might throw a page in between these. Very simple. Question mark. How might we solve blank blank with blank blank? Then, when you get into container ideation, I know what you're trying to do. There's only this is something. There's water problems. There's lots of ways to address water problems. That why I want that how might we statement as a transition. Okay, so we actually typically will say get rid of these giant margins top and bottom, but you use it. I'm okay with that. I would scale it up just a little bit. This looks a lot like the container if you go like to IHOP or Waffle House and you get that syrup. Looks a lot like it. Just saying what I see. Keep sketch, keep sketch, keep sketch. Looks rough, looks rough. That's probably okay. Resketch. Too small for me to tell what it is. Working on refining. Okay, I'll let you work on that. Talked about this. Talked about this. Concept refinement. Cool. Keep in mind, I don't know what this is. I don't know what it does. I wasn't in your studio, so you're going to have to explain to me how it works. And then if you explain to me how it works, I'll realize that this comes off and gives you some type of benefit. It's pretty. I like it. Like I said multiple times before. Placeholder. What's up with this circle? I mean, I'm looking at this. That comes directly from here. I'm cool with that. Right? Also, a little bit of text. Tell me your thought process. We wanted to extract the most dynamic angles of the product to develop a logo. Make it instantly recognizable. Alright, it's getting better. I mean, there's plenty of things you got to work on for this guy, but I think it has the potential of being a good product. I mean, you know from being in studio with me, if you set up a good problem that you make people care about, they care about the solution. How we doing? Alright, we're doing good. Blank page up front. Mason. We never talked about this, so expectations are low. Let's see what we got. Let me just read this. And also spell check. Command-I, Control-I. How many times I gotta talk about it? Alright, many homes have ceiling vents. Yes, many do, not all. That blow heat up high in the room. Well, it's not that they blow heat up high in the room, it's just that they're located in the room and they blow down. But heat rises. It's not so much lost, it's just if you have like a second store or you have bad insulation or you have an old house, it escapes. But this is only in the winter, man. So, it might be smart to like pick a demographic or say, you know, above this line of latitude, I don't know right now, in the United States, over 75%, just keep this game, over 75% of heat or home energy costs goes to heating. Not in the South. I mean, it comes to cooling, and right now you're not really talking about cooling as much. Right? I mean, you sent me up for heating, so that's what I'm reading about. Concepting. See, I don't mind seeing it so much because I don't know what it is. But if I go here and say, wow, he saw that problem really fast, I would like more volume of how do you start addressing the heating and cooling problem in a modern home in the North United States. And personally, I like pros and cons. But the thing is, like 1, 2, 3, 4, these are all 5. The majority of your solutions are just one solution. CAD models. I don't really care if you can CAD. I got a 14-year-old in Savannah that I trained for 3 years that could run everybody in this class on that table in terms of 3D modeling. So if you're just 3D modeling to show you can 3D model, I got a kid that can do that. But if you're trying to explain solution, that's what, in this situation, don't put CAD models. I know what these are. You're trying to explain your solution, right? So system insulation gives me a bit more context than what you gave me. Where does this cat live? Does it live in like a room, or does it live in like a closet, or does it live in a garage? What's the cost? I'm curious about it because like you taught me things at a big expense, so why am I going to add more expense? Tankless water heater. Keep in mind, if you do tankless, it's more energy because it's heating with electricity. I guess it doesn't have to heat with electricity, but typically it does because you need a lot of instantaneous heat. Come on, baby. Photoshop. Like you took the class. This is me shrugging my shoulders. I don't know what to do with that. Cool. Context. Well, I know this is a product or an industrial design portfolio, so we know you're going to develop a concept. Exploring new opportunities is what I want to see. And really you expand it into two areas, either to the garage market, the DIY market, or what else is it called? Lifestyle brand. That's the information that I'd like to see here. But otherwise, awesome picture, good page. Let's adopt the idea of less is more. You're talking about light sterilization. I can't really tell which was the best for light sterilization. One of these is. Vibration cleaning. Maybe this guy. Drying. That one. I don't want to show this one because it's so similar to your solution. But that one. Talk about the concepts with one image. Give me context. And then I feel like you're throwing it too much up here. I can't see the forest for the trees. Better make sure there's no overlap, which I've done you pretty. Move these guys off a little bit. Additionally, your leaders need to be less bold, and it might be helpful. How could you bring more attention to this sketch? Yes, you've desaturated the remaining of them. Idea, those in Photoshop, and then it's not a drop shadow, but you see even sketching a light. They'll throw a dark line on the back side. So if light's coming from this source, you have a dark line on the back side. Maybe that help it pop a little bit more. Concept selection. This is what we can't do, right? Because this is your development, and this is your selection. What I want to see is development, yeah? So either I need an earlier form of this, or that needs to change a little bit, because I'm looking at the two and they don't change at all. Adjust oscillation. So if I'm moving through the project, I need to see there's improvement on your concepts. So right now, I'm not totally wild about this. Kick your name out, because hopefully this is your portfolio. You don't have to sign your sketches. How about TTI challenged me to incorporate a blower style fan based upon their existing internal research. Ooh, star, you knew what they were trying to go for and they didn't tell you. Same with your leaders, a little bit less. Try to work down your text. I mean, same thing. I just kicked off maybe a third of what you were trying to say and said the same thing better. Brevity, baby, less is more. Tell me what you want to say. I'm cool with these. I do like the rough models. Yes, it's development. I know you chose it because I can see it continuing down. The modification allowed better air intake and more ergonomic transportation, something like that. Try to, reduce if possible. By VB application, you never really explained to me that you understand how their BBL works. My assumption is you kept the same form, you added the color. On a simple level, yes, that does work, but it's not really sophisticated. Also, you bolted all this. Also, you broke your grid, right? It should start here. Maybe it goes over here. Maybe it's 2 lines deep instead of being 4 lines deep. With an orphan. These leaders don't bother me as much. Try to be consistent. Make sure either your text is left aligned with the line or right aligned. Your S is a little bit over and your L is a little bit shy. Scale down this just a tad, right? It's almost like you're forcing it against the borders. Same thing in your house. Like, you never put your furniture all against the wall because it says, hey, I don't have any space. You leave a little space. Same reason here. Can we order? Idea. Get rid of the white box. Can you Photoshop this image so it feels like in the background of that image? Right? So you want to make sure your horizon line is similar. So maybe your horizon line's here. You're looking down. So really it would move up a little bit and maybe be a little bit smaller to fit into this area in the background. That way this looks like you have two renders on the same page. And then you can just do call out information on the bottom. Alright, so when you're circulating paint, drying floor is good. Circulating air can be for multiple reasons, right? If you're trying to get rid of, what's that junk called? Like the fumes from oil paint. Yes, it could help paint dry. It also could help dehumidify an area. I guess that's drying floors in a way, right? But if you have like a basement that flooded, you get the water out, you still got to run air to see if you can get dehumidification going on. I think this guy needs to be rewritten, but in terms of images, you're almost there. Alright, cool. Done with undergrads. Let's check the grads. Grad version 2. Let's go back up to where I posted my video. Is this your new one? Just wait. Version 2. Okay, something wrong with the original. Please look at this one. Got it. Thank you for the comments. Ming Chen, I have a feeling Ming Chen always gets her stuff in on time. That's what I feel. Alright, cool. Got the intro. You're working with spreads. Thank you for making it wide. Very nice. Right? Now you're telling me exactly what I should see. Only downside, it's a bit small. I'm a bit concerned because you are using the 2-page spread. Will I still be able to read this information if I had it at, full wide screen? Under furniture cleaning, I don't know if you need that little dash. You can kick that out. Also, what color theme? You're working with a purple. So maybe, could you do like a purple outline on the machine here? What are other places you could do purple? I don't know. I want to bring attention that it's under furniture cleaning. And can you do that with a little bit of a purple outline? Hybrid vacuum. What's a hybrid vacuum? Cord plus, cordless. Thing is, I'm not going to read that. It's actually, you don't have to say it twice, right? You can kick that out, move your information up to the top a little bit, and then make sure these are bolded and a little bit bigger. Another downside is that brings a lot of attention, so that's number one in hierarchy. That's a little bit darker, so it doesn't have the same amount of importance. If you could punch that color a little bit, it'd look more important. And then the plus, right? Because these two have relatively the same amount of importance, but that one doesn't. Branding. Maybe. I'm okay with leaving it here. Maybe call it product family. Ideation, good. You're using your margins. I don't mind them being there. Typically, I would request you to redo this page, but I think we're going to let it roll on this. I know it'd be a lot of formatting, but the downside is you've decreased the contrast between your concepts, so it's difficult for me to see them and see your progress. What decisions did you make? What decisions did you choose not to continue with? It's okay. The one suggestion I will request on this page is make your circles a bit bigger. Right, you're cutting off portions of your concepts that could be important. Instead of feedback, just call it development. And I'm not really sure you need those little dashes or minus signs in the front. So go over the majority of this page. The only part is, you see how none of these have a background? No background, no background, no background, but these do. Is there any way you can Photoshop the background out, that way it looks more consistent? Also keep in mind, I think these might be too small, and if they are going to be too small, get rid of them and then scale these up just a little bit. Concept, foot pedal, light LED, wheel. Why are you talking about a wheel? This is good. This is good. Suggestion, either move this graphic up a little bit and then move this one down a little bit. I want the bottom, like the ground plane, to be equal for both of them. But why are these details? Why are these important? Especially the wheel. The wheel puzzles me. Alright. Pretty good page. Branding works here. Okay, in terms, we talked about this previously. If you have a human, you got to bleed them to the outside of the page. Right now we have some severely dismembered people. We have a hand that comes out of nowhere. So, I would like you to do this type of version of you again. Right? It can be very light. Right? It's just there to give me context. But it won't feel as if you cut people in half. Sequence of use. How you use it. Okay. So the only thing I want you to do is choose a few words, a sentence, because you talked about the difficulties here, you talked about your development. Imagine if a mom was going to write you a review on Amazon, what would they say? That's the kind of saying that I want here. Remind me why it's a good decision to purchase and use this device. Alright, Hefe, we talked about this one in class. So, you got your feedback. Continue to develop it. Look at this one. Alright, we're stacking something. Current problems. Do you think it's important to talk about that you're working with CSP and you're developing a packaging solution? One big benefit is it proves you worked with a company, design managers, business. It just gives you a bit more credibility than just saying, hey, I made a stacker. Current packaging problems or current display problems, easily damaged, so that not 1, 2, 3, just easily damaged. They benefit with products so they come inside of them. Poor product display, and then useless geometries, maybe. Touch points. I'm not really sure you dealt with all these things, right? You want it to be manufacturably efficient, but you're not really worried about manufacture. You are dealing with a little bit of delivery and the fact that it's got to be stored, but not so much. Assembly is a big part of your job because the person needs to know how to assemble that package, right? Or take it out of its larger package and put it in a smaller package. How the person interacts with that display, yes. And then how it's reshelved, I think is important. I would say these are the ones you want to focus on. Also, these aren't yours. So, let me look through this. Whatever you do, you have to be consistent so it feels like it's you. Right now, you're just kind of borrowing clip art. So if you want to stay with these, stay with these. Can't be her because that doesn't match the style you've already started using. Same thing down here. These don't match the style that we had earlier. So I'm not saying you have to go back and re-sketch everything, but you might want to alter these so they fit into the same style, so they look like it's your work instead of somebody else's work. Oh, good gravy. Well, I don't care about dimensions. And stretching is misspelled. Like most comfortable range of motion would be a better way to say this. Also, you see how this is like it's orthographic? All this is our front end views, and then you throw it in perspective. It feels a bit out of place. Not that it can't work, it's going to feel weird. So get rid of her. I can understand the relative scale of the box just by doing normal human. All right, she's between 5 foot and 6 foot. You having this thing in here, so maybe this is a maximum of 4 foot. This isn't working. Is there any development, right? Because you told me like what the problem is, relatively. Tray Stacker 2.0, Lego tray. They look the same. You have triangles here, you have half or like quarter circles here, you have triangles there. Redo sketch page. It's not working. Also, are you really going to show your... it's not so bad. I was like, it's not really attractive right here. Also, when you put a box on top, how do you keep it from shifting around? Like if I bump these, would it fall over? I think you missed my presentation on font. Also, you can't just throw this image in here. You see how it bleeds off the edges? It looks like you cut off part of the product. I'd get rid of it. I don't think it's helping that much. Also, there's no development. These are the same, well, minus these tabs, which you tucked in later. What are the benefits of your solution? I'd rather see you pull off little leaders or text to tell me something about it. Alright, I'm cool with this page. Economy. Use 80% of original one. I'd rather say you saved 20%. You were 20% more efficient by delivering the same quality. Only 3 steps to fold it. You just told me that. 1, 2, 3. No? So this is at the factory. This, instead of just tell me it's 3 steps, show me the 3 steps. Open, almost closed, closed. Say 50%. You got to convince me of this one. I don't believe that's possible. It's alright. Full-size model. This is me being frustrating. What I'd rather you do is instead of showing me your final solution at the very beginning, like I've said to almost everybody in this class multiple times, and during class, don't show me everything in the beginning, because if I don't like what I see at the beginning, I'm not going to continue reading it. Also, you should put Jergens on the side if we're talking about just basic design information, because you might not only see it from the front, you might also see it from the side. This is any soothing aloe. You need to tell me it's Jergens soothing aloe. Give me a smaller image of this. It still needs to be full bleed, I think, but don't reveal everything about the solution at the very beginning. At the very end, I'd like to see this. Here, tell me about the benefits that you improved. You've kind of done here, but tell me all the benefits of this product in a white space, and then the final image really should be it in the store. Good question. How do you organize them? Kids need motivation. Or motivations. I don't know if it's really better one. What's up with your spacing here? I would say kids need motivation, singular. Instead of introducing Zuger has brought the walls to encourage theme, I would ask the question, what can we do to encourage kids to help clean up? You know what kids' interest. Because you already introduced the concept there, and you're still kind of talking about research. So I think it's a bad time to introduce Zuger. Why is B capitalized? Using kids' interest to build interaction between children and the products. Kids like animals, color, and natural material. Spell check. Instead of saying children, kindergarten teachers, and mothers, could you mean image? Children, kindergarten teachers, mothers, and then put a number? How many? There's lots of confusion about what to do today. I'll deal with that. Their inputs have led... Alright, so back to where I was. Little graphics of kids, teachers, mothers. How many did you talk with? And then you can say their inputs gave me 3 categories. 1. Cool. What's up with all the ones? Alright, all the ones on the side are really confusing me. What are they there for? Hopefully this is all because it's Project 1. To me, it's like it's too much information. I'm interested in what you're telling me within the project, not so much that I'm on Project 1. Nice. This is good. I might full bleed that image. Is there any Zuger logo? No. I just don't like it written right there, so I'd rather see full image. I know that it's her interacting with these things. Could you make up a quote? Why does she love these things? It allows me to do something, something, something. Kindle, 7 years old. Installation, spell check. Is this really installation? Or is this packaging? This is installation. What's up with these eyeballs? Tools, you get it. Easy to install, yes. Nail or screw. Negative point, I don't understand. These need to be bigger for me to see them. It's all step 1, 2, 3. You place it, you mark it, you use either one of the pieces of hardware, you install it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. How can we streamline that process? Zuger, full screen. I know this is packaging. So Zuger, full screen. I think if you want to talk about packaging, it should be talked about... Where did it go? Patience. Here. And then end up, your last page is the Zuger. Alright, ignoring. Boeing bottle. Make that a little bit more bold, please. Kind of some bad English here. The brief to design a baby bottle for newborn to 2-year-old users. It's difficult to call these kids users. It's just they're babies. Making babies more comfortable when feeding. It's kind of like an incomplete sentence. The goal of this design is to make babies more comfortable. And because you're always going to consider like scale, ergonomics, material, and processes with all your projects, I don't think you need to write that. I think you could say the same thing with less information. So let's do a full bleed image, one statement. Feeding time can be difficult on baby. Same thing, just more simple. How to feed baby properly. I like this. I feel like that needs to be moved into the left a little bit. Can't remember if I said that or not, but I feel like I did. Okay. Not a lot of development on this one. It's your choice not to show it, but right, you're wanting to combine these elements. You didn't tell me that, I'm assuming it, but that's what you're wanting to tell me. This needs to be redone. None of these feel like they're yours. Suggestion is go in and do like an illustrated drawing. Try to keep maybe use a 3-color combination as a maximum. This doesn't make a lot of sense though. Focus points. Okay, it's good. This doesn't feel like it's real though. Real picture of the kid, and so that's not really well photoshopped. Also, you lost some of your product here, right? And why would you give maybe a bottle of air? It'll make them burp. So fill it up with milk. And instead of saying Boeing bottle, I want you to remind me why it's a good product. So this solution offers a happier baby and a happier mommy. Alright, fix the... Does it fix the problem? What size are your pages? They feel super wide, right? If that's a spread, which that implies me this is a spread. Okay, I like what's being said in this page. I think graphically we got to work this weird area in. Give me just basic information. If it's there, I can't see it. Not zooming in, so basic information. How many weeks? Or you just give me a statement. NASA challenged us to develop an interior living environment for the year 2020. Something with the space rover. Where is NASA going? Why are they going? It's funny, but not funny enough to put here. I might bring attention to how ridiculous the entire thing is and use big numbers. So I'm okay with this. This needs to be redone. You've got to send so many amount of cubic feet, so many miles into the future. It'll take this many weeks. It costs this much money. Also, we can obtain some knowledge. I don't know. It seems like you have some fun poking at a theme there, so let's refine it. Also, right now, that's not that you have to have a graphical theme to your project, but right now there's no graphics at all to help tie it in. So, I'm going to tell you to do what I've told everybody to do. Find a portfolio online that you like the way it looks. Strip out their information, put yours in it. If you do want to continue this, I need a picture of this person standing up. They've got wheels on their feet, they're moving, and they go, oh, why not? Then it's a good transition. I'm not going to read, so if I don't read, I don't understand the transition. They designed this, good. I don't really like it boxed in. I think this needs to take up this page. Our task is to make it better. It should be over here. We need to achieve like 1, 2, 3, 4 different. We need to achieve these considerations. Next page, sketch the exploration. Tell me, like with callouts, I was thinking about doing this. It was a good idea. I was thinking about doing this. It was a bad idea. You can show refinement towards the right. And then segue into, we needed to build a model to really test out our ideas. Show me the model. Show me the benefits. I'm going to wait a second and see if this pulls up. This is almost like it is like an exhibit design in the fact that it's hard for me to really appreciate how it works until you give me some interior views and maybe guide them. So you give me like a, you're not going to have a 3/4 view of this guy, but maybe you get like an aerial view and you do location 1, 2, 3, and then in the images, the perspective images showing what's going on the interior that are in perspective, you give me 1, 2, 3. But still working on this cat. Alright, making it there, making it. New way to feed your fish. Cool. I'm worried that those icons don't fit. No. Because it feels like it's more of a fun project, lighthearted, when you go to these really black silhouettes. I like what you're doing. Try to find other characters, maybe even cartoon characters, that help communicate the same amount of information, but it doesn't feel so formal. Also, what's up with this blue box? I don't really mind this information here. It's you learning about fish tanks. Instead of saying research, I'd rather you say, we learned that, ... and then give me some information that you learned from your research. Inspiration, take care of... This is not an inspiration page. I don't know what this is. I can't give you feedback. Character. Alright, hey Mr. Ocean. Alright, you can't really choose an icon until I know what you're doing. Like, I don't know what problem you're going to solve yet. I know it's going to be in an app, but you show me the wireframes first. Then you can talk about your icons. You can talk about that. Yeah, you got to introduce these after. This is like a sketch. This is more like a refined detail. So the order needs to be changed. Why would you hide functions? Like, people need functions with hidden? Come on. I'm not going to do English for y'all. Main interface with expandable features. Right, is this my fish or is it a digital fish? Am I really... Does this thing interface with like a real fish tank or is it like a digital Pokemon fish tank? I don't know. So why wouldn't you show me my real fish? Is one of these a camera? Photo record. All right, getting there. Also, you're wasting a lot of space for the things that are most essential. So I kind of disagree with the app design. Shake your phone to feed. I don't know what any of these do. I don't even know how to get to settings. I guess it's here, right? Camera, feeder, light, whole view. Are you really going to get that whole view? Because it looks like you're putting this camera on the fish tank. That's my assumption. Testing. Problem is, if you tested this with kids, you should probably come up here and tell me that you're designing it for kids in the first place. Because if not, I mean, it's just kind of it's misleading. I told you that before. Still haven't seen a change. Cool. Make sure these sentences are the same length. So move that allows over here. Maybe allows pet owners up top. Cool. Only suggestions I want to make here is let's bold the cats' names, or are we talking about the cats, or are we talking about the people? Alright, we're talking about the cats. Got it. Alright. Good. I like the cat being in here, gives me context. I understand what's going on here. These are your more developed concepts. Thank you. You made a really good change. This makes me happy when I see people taking my advice. Spelling, Command I, Control I. Why do you need to? You needed to dig. You needed to remove a portion of the wood. There's a better way to say that. That's not a word. H-I-G-N. Oh, high hardness? Okay. I'm okay with you leaving this, but this is not really what we're looking for in terms of show me the process, because anybody can make a model. What I'm wondering is, what did you learn about the product while you're making the model? But because I'm learning something about you, I'm going to allow it. But this is not really the purpose. Details. How about top, middle, and bottom? Much better. What I'm talking about. Emerson, I'm not going to read one word of that. Redesign, I'm not going to read anything else. Just I see so much, and it scares me. Right? I think this internally they call this thing the piggy. Redesign. If you're going to redesign it, what's wrong with it? Right? What are our opportunities for improvement? Market overview, spelling. Also, you might need to make that background lighter because it's a little difficult to read this information. Additionally, I don't mind reading 2 sentences, but 3, maybe you could bold. And come on, we don't need to know 33.33%. Just tell me it's 33%. Have experience working in crawl spaces. Are you serious you're going to go under a crawl space? Let me see. No. You're not going in a crawl space, so what does that have to do with anything? You could just say 61% of people feels like their cord is too short and limits mobility. Also, because you're giving me the numbers, it's not really essential that you give me this graph as well. So let's get rid of the purple parts. Alright, you interviewed people. What do you want me, the reader, to know about what people said about vacuuming? Courage management. Working crawl spaces, which you don't show me later. Hard to store the wand. Heavy. Okay. If these are the problems, I want to see you solve them. Not going to read it. Especially see how it's difficult to read when there's overlap. Good. I think this works. You see how these lines are coming out and telling you like what you're thinking? I'll tell you this until you fix it. This feels, actually it is wrong. You see how there's a line, or you have a surface here, but you don't have the same surface here? You can Photoshop fix it, and you haven't done it. So I'm going to tell you it's bad and it's wrong until you fix it. Oh boy. Come on, man. Manufacturing methods. You don't tell me anything about manufacturing methods. You made it out of plastic. Find me a vacuum cleaner that isn't made out of plastic. Injection molding. Like, you don't tell me why you're doing these things. And you don't show me how you're doing them or how you design them to be made in this type of manufacturing. So, two options. If you have to talk about manufacturing methods, you got to do a lot better job. Secondly, if you're not going to talk about manufacturing methods, don't show it at all. Final solution features. I like the final solution being shown here. Just talk about, get rid of that giant bolded 2 words. Just talk about design features. Design considerations. Why is this backwards? Man, I hate this page. Why do I hate it so much? I'm not really sure. Get rid of you have like a gradient background on top of a gradient image. I just do a white background, say design features or product features. Move your text to the bottom. You gotta give me more than just one thing here. Plus your hose is in there. Let me see if you. Actually, it's a development though. You made it more sturdy and more bold. Maybe it fits into their brand language because it's kind of thin up here and you thickened it up. So tell me you made a change. Bring it to my attention. Final solution. Yes. You didn't talk about no crawl space. Don't tell me it's in context. I know what it is. Right? I'd probably take this as a final solution more than this one. Or give me a quote or remind me of the things you needed to solve and why you solved them / how you solved them. Can we reformat the way you do key driver? It does work. The problem that I'm having is box, and I don't think it needs to be boxed. It's almost like it's layout fill. It's like it's too engineered, I guess. Let's see, what's your color here? It's green, right? So give me a circle, give me a key inside the circle, instead of like this little minus and the bar, and we'll make it more apparent. So it's primary information, secondary information, and then this is tertiary. So circle, make it a green circle, put a white key inside of it, get rid of this, and maybe we'll bring more attention to it. Cool. This is weird though. Like, I just wanted to see sketching, and then you're throwing this extra stuff on there. Nope. This is what belongs to the bottom. Is there anybody to help me figure out like which pages go together and which ones don't? Like maybe a white line or a black line between. Because this feels like it belongs to the top, but I don't know if it does. I think it belongs to the bottom. I like the sequence of use, but I'd rather you, if these are margins, pull up and then tell me something from the object. That way I don't know. Maybe I feel it goes together better. Okay. You don't have to tell me it's hero exploded. You can. I just don't think it's necessary. Good change. Don't tell me it's a scenario. Shoot. You can call me like product in use is a better way. Client presentation. Okay, really close. Good work. Lane, why are you in the grad section? You're quite an undergrad, so we don't do table of contents. If I had to explain, it means you weren't listening in class. The Mobile Infirmary. Give me another page. Is the creek called? Is your design the creek? I'd rather you give me like kind of a site analysis of the Mobile Infirmary. Might have to do Mobile, Alabama, AL Infirmary, because mobile is often mistaken. Then you can do rule of thirds, boom, 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 on top of this image. Also, when you're doing a site analysis, let's see. Okay, sorry. Ignore the site analysis. Project goals, healthy lifestyle, nature, social life. That way, I can see, oh, she's achieving some of her goals in some of these installations. So this is negative. They had concerns with the safety. Rebrand this so it's positive. The infirmary encouraged me to pursue blank. Also, this needs to be in context. It's cool that you can render, but a lot of people can render. It needs to be in some type of scenario like this. That would give me a pretty good idea. Or you can Photoshop it into a real environment. This feels like it's kind of an add-on. So you talk about these two concepts. I would show this one first, one of these, which will be that one, and then that one last. And if you do a great Photoshop job of this, it'll look amazing. So, possible. Two more. Also, what's a design brief? Command-I, Control-I. Do your spell check. For project P-object. For people P-object. I know English isn't your first language, but everybody who doesn't have English as a first language, actually everybody, just get in the habit of spell checking stuff. I want to say series appliances design different. I might do Is the title of the project easy? Give me a second to think about this. Alright, idea. Exploring design through a series. Something to that effect. It works, it just feels weird. Company analysis, e-commerce, research. Why they success? It's bad English. Alright, so why are we looking at these different companies? And why do they feel like they're all apps? Are you designing for net ease? And they have all these different things? So at some point you've got to explain to me what is their visual brand language. The problem is I'm having to read so much to figure out, and I don't like reading. And I don't think the people who are going to look at your portfolio really enjoy reading. All right, first, explain to me who NetEase is, like what is their visual brand language. Then, company analysis. Are you talking about their offerings? Company product offerings? Downside of seeing this giant plagiarize is one of the first things I see, and it's kind of a negative word. So, premium products, lower price, and then the negative, we still have to say these negative things in a positive light. So they lack creativity, low quality, maybe a different way to say that. Alright, you were inspired by these things. Cool. Personas are great. The biggest thing I'm curious about is what is their existing visual brand language? Because until I know that, I don't know how it works into the rest of the story. What users see when they're relaxing or working at home apart from PC or smartphone? What lifestyle brands or what lifestyle products do millennials, well, let's not say millennials, what lifestyle brands do consumers want? That's a lot cleaner and easier to understand. So these are your design opportunities. See, listen, drink, think. Desk projector looks nice. Water dispenser. Why are you putting this little function logo up here? Get rid of it. I don't know if there's a reason. What? Okay. Problem is, if you're talking about branding, you're branding these objects with their logo or with their visual brand language, which you've already kind of done. So just to throw that you did some stationery doesn't, like, their job is to make these things, not make these things. So why would you show branding of things that don't, that aren't products? If you are doing easy, I should see the logo on everything, right? That's kind of how branding works. I like seeing it in context. Still don't know what that is. There seems to be something there that I don't know. Alright, I mean, the products look good. It's just you gotta give me some help understanding where they come from, why they're important. How do you build upon NetEase's existing product VBL, visual branding language? Alright, did I miss one? No. Last one. Wait. Y'all turning things in. Is this on the 6th? I don't know. I'm assuming people are turning things in late, but I'd rather go back and make sure that 6th is actually the day we had class on. So I ain't going to say anything right now, but I'm curious. Alright, this project. It's a big one. Background. Kids like connected technology. 13-year-olds. If you're going to say how to play the toy, it should come up front. Also, because these are so small, consider like just doing 2 pages. And then I think color would help me relate, because you're so colorful earlier on, and then you go black and white for all the product. So if we add a little bit of color, even if it's like very faint, to help me relate, okay, this is the product, this is how you use the product. Interface design. Man, I don't even read these things. So if I don't read them, do you need them? And if you need them, you got to make maybe the images a little bit bigger, but definitely the text bigger so I can read it if it is important. File design. What I really want is the kids playing with this. I mean, that's the entire goal, right? So until I see kids playing with it, you're not really done. So I think that's all the feedback I can give you on that one. I think we're done.